Your Excellency, Deputy President, all protocols observed, good morning. Your Excellency, this is the third conference of this nature. We have been in Mount Kenya, West. We also have been in Rift Valley, Nakuru, and we are happy today to be in Upper Eastern for this very important national conversation. Excellency, I want to thank you and the President for the leadership that you continue to give to this endeavor. We are agreed generally as a country that this matter of illicit alcohol and the sale and use of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances is no longer a general matter. This matter is now personal. It is personal, Your Excellency, because sadly, every home today in Kenya has an issue, either directly or indirectly, of a member of the family, a relative, who is struggling with addiction or who has been run over by toxic substances and the consumption of dangerous drugs and alcohol. Not many homes are free of this problem. And therefore, it is no longer a general issue. It is a personal matter for every Kenyan. And Your Excellency, unless we sustain total war on this cancer, we stand to lose a whole generation. And I shudder to imagine what this country will look like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now, and thereafter, when many of us in this room will not be available to occupy the positions that we occupy today as leaders, as parents, as grown-ups. Your Excellency, for us in the Interior Ministry, we consider the sale and use of illicit alcohol, toxic and dangerous substances, narcotics. We consider this as one of our top 5 national security threats, with equal consequences on the future of our nation as the other threats that we consider to be top 5. This is why, as we all know, terrorism remains the existential threat to our nation. And that's why this country, for the last so many years, has invested huge resources to sustain the war against terror. Increasingly, we have opened another war, which we intend to sustain against people who have been using culture to cause violence and death and steal livestock, with about a third of the counties of Kenya affected, but about 13 counties most affected, including counties from this region. But the same risk and danger that terrorists pose on our people, the same risk and damage that bandits pose on the security of our nation, it is actually the same risk and danger that the people who manufacture, distribute, and sell dangerous, toxic substances that are destroying the health of an entire nation. It is the same risk that they pose. There's no difference. It's only that they use different methods. In fact, I dare say, what these substances are doing to this nation is worse than the damage that has been caused, even by bandits and terrorists, in terms of numbers. If we are not careful, we do not have a country. And I shudder to imagine what kind of a country we will hand over to our children when it is our time to go. Your Excellency, therefore, this exercise, I don't see it as a one-off thing. And once more, thank you for the leadership that you continue to give on behalf of the President. And the same energy, vigor, focus, and clarity of mind that we have shown in other threats to our national security is the same vigor, energy, and clarity of mind and focus that we are going to show as we take up the measures that will be recommended from this multi-sectoral and stakeholder engagement. Your Excellency, we will increase our budget at the Ministry of Interior to deal with this problem. The same way, we have increased our budget in the fight against terror and the fight against bandits. I see no reason why, for example, NACADA should continue being underfunded. I want to thank you for your intervention. Going forward, we will fund NACADA a little more. But once we do that, we will also demand accountability from NACADA. We do not want to come here and get statistics from NACADA. We want to get results. We want to be told what the taxpayers' money that we are going to enhance for you will bring in terms of making this country free from this dangerous phenomenon. Your Excellency, there is no need of the country spending lots of money on education and health and agriculture if there are no people to benefit from those programs. And therefore, from us in the Interior Ministry, the corner where we have put bandits and terrorists is the corner where we have put those who manufacture, distribute, and sell dangerous substances and narcotic drugs to our children and to our people. Our wako WhatsApp group moja. Same. The same. And for a long time, we have tried in the past to deal with the cartels in this sector. They resist because they bribe government officials, and sometimes even government officials have been part of the businesses. They bribe leaders, including political leaders. They fund political campaigns, and because of that, they have got away with this matter for a long time. I am afraid to say, this time round, there is no escape route. There is no room to escape. There is nowhere to go to. those chiefs and police officers who are collecting small monies to murder our children and allow them lose lives in the manner in which the member for this area was saying, you will have a case to answer, not in the future, now. Any chief, any police officer who is receiving protection money from brewers, from drug peddlers, you are a threat to our national security. We'll get rid of you. We'll get rid of you. And as the Deputy President and the President has said many times, we will not transfer you to another station. We have stopped that business. Yes. We are not going to take you from Tharaka Nithi to Bungoma, because Bungoma is also part of the Republic of Kenya. And they deserve as good services as the people of Tharaka Nithi, isn't it? The politicians who have been receiving funding from these dangerous brewers of toxic substances and drugs, we are going to arrest you and prosecute you without exception. It doesn't matter who you are, whoever you are. The problem with a politician, because I have been one for a while, they have a sense of entitlement, and they believe because you've been voted for, you can overrun the country's legal system, you can do whatever you want, because you've been elected. Please, we're going to track every political leader who is part of this dangerous scheme to undermine our country's security. We'll investigate you very carefully. Once we get good evidence, we'll arrest you, prosecute you, and make sure you are convicted. And even if you are released by court, we'll appeal and keep on appealing. And eventually, if you are released, we'll see what else we can do. And I mean business. This should go out to all politicians, whether they are in the government party, Kenya Kwanza, or they are in the opposition. It really doesn't matter. This job I'm doing is very unpopular, and I have accepted. So I'm going to lose very many friends. Very many friends I am going to lose, and brothers and sisters with whom we have walked very difficult journeys together. But unfortunately, when it comes to service to the country, our country is bigger than friendship and brotherhood. So we'll arrest many of you, governors, senators, women reps, MCAs, all manner of people. Yes. And I said all manner of people. All manner of people does not exclude any person. Yes. And government officials, let me say this, Your Excellency, in your presence. Because I've listened to you, I've listened to President William Ruto. We are not doing very well as public servants, especially those of us who are serving in the public service. We are not doing very well. Those colleagues of mine who are serving with me in the Interior Ministry, the police, Ngao, we are not doing so well. That is the truth. People don't regard us very highly. They think there are some things we are not doing so well, because some of us take bribes, others look the other way and allow injustice to flourish, and we have no regard to the interest of the people who have no say in society. So we must build our image and rebuild public trust and confidence so that when citizens see a chief, when citizens see an ACC, a regional commissioner, when they see an OCS, they should see safety, security, rescue, and professionalism. At the moment, you can take a poll. Just take a poll. Take a poll and find out what people think about us. So we have a long way to go. And this is one area where I am afraid senior officers receive protection money to keep some of these criminals in business. And you're calling yourself a commander of something, a commissioner of something. We cannot allow this to happen over and over again. And as I've said, all the escape routes now have been sealed off. Because I know what President William Ruto has decided on matters of national security. Number one, no politics. Because you bring politics to national security, you destroy the country. Number two, we must be accountable. So we have a job to do, all of us. I know chiefs are finding it difficult to enforce the law because at the moment you require seamless support from the National Police Service. We are rectifying that issue because we don't have two countries, we have no one country. Law enforcement is for the country and we must all deliver as one. And therefore, very soon we are going to announce reforms to allow national government administration officers to the National Police Service to enforce the law in a seamless manner. Na tuache hii vita vidogo vidogo vya upumbavu. Sijui sisi ni polisi, sisi ni ngao, sisi ni nini. Unaharibu nchi. Yeah? You can't deliver alone. We need to work together. So those reforms are on the way. And they will be passed. They will be pushed through. Yeah. We are not going to ask for democracy. We will push them through because they are in the national interest. So that a chief doesn't struggle. Some of my chiefs have been killed in banditry areas because they are tracking livestock and they are only carrying a stick. And those bandits are armed with very sophisticated weapons. Now, as I go, there is an ongoing crackdown on all unlicensed outlets for manufacture, distribution, and sale of illicit, of all unlicensed outlets of manufacture, distribution, and sale of alcohol. And on the question of second generation alcoholic drinks, which is a major issue, and the question of ethanol, I want to agree with the presenter from NACADA that many of the licensees who are genuinely licensed are subcontracted their production to others, and they are some of the ethanol that they are legitimately using under their license is being used to concoct other things that are substandard and unhealthy. Also, some of the licensees are running parallel production facilities. You have one which does the licensed stuff, and then you have another one which KRA and KEBS and ACA have no idea where that facility is. For that reason, we are going to review all the licenses involved in the manufacture, distribution, and sale of second-generation alcohol in the Republic of Kenya afresh. We look at them afresh. So the fact that you have a license doesn't allow you, we have to review again. And those who are doing legitimate production, as I said in Nakuru, we are not fighting legitimate businesses that have been licensed by the government of Kenya and are selling substances that have been approved by the Kenya Revenue Authority, the Anti-Counterfeit Agency, and Kenya Bureau of Standards. We are not fighting legitimate businesses. But we must review all the licenses afresh to find out, first of all, if they are complying with all the laws, if they are flouting the laws by having parallel production facilities or subletting or taking some of the ethanol to people who are using it to produce substandard alcohol. We'll revoke the licenses and take you to court. But those who are doing the right thing have nothing to fear. We will protect businesses that pay tax, that manufacture things that have been approved by government agencies. And I look forward to a sober country, and a country where those of us who are in my age bracket and older, they know in the days gone by, alcohol used to be sold during certain hours. Not like today when our children are taking alcohol at 9 o'clock in the morning. It should be sold at 5 o'clock. And the advertisers used to say, baada ya kazi, after work. Today, ni badala ya kazi. Alcohol today ni badala ya kazi, sio baada ya kazi. Kwa hayo mengi na machache, asanteni sana. Siku hizi sina story mingi. Story yangu ni hiyo ya kupambana na wahalifu mahali walipo. I don't have another story. Mr. Deputy President, thank you very much. Na ni kama umeishishi hapa, umekuwa hii area for a while, karibu sana. We don't mind hata ukitaka kukaa. You can ask the files to be brought here. We'll sign documents from here for another week or 2 weeks. But thank you very much for finding time to come. I know you're very busy and your office is serving the whole country, but we thank you for the 3-4 days that you've spent in this region, bringing all these counties together, mainly in the former Eastern region, trying to solve some of our problems. It was coffee, and now it is drugs and alcohol. I request that we all be upstanding as we invite His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, Deputy President of Kenya. Welcome, Mr. Deputy President.
Thank you very much. Please be seated.
Brother Professor Kindiki, Minister for Interior and Administration, Cabinet Secretary for Health, Misha, Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock.